Hello, welcome to Wrestling Sunday Ranking here at Lemon Studios, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, the Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is the top 25 WWE main roster superstars. But before we get into that, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Share, leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on this list, and leave me your own if you are able to do so. And, of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? Because, boy, do we have a lot to cover here, because the overall goal I have for this list in particular is to be an ongoing series. Every single month we will reflect on this and really get into the nitty-gritty of every division and every superstar on the main roster right now and just discuss the stories that they have. So overall, the basic goal of this list, as subjective as it is, because I am just one person who is ranking this based on opinion, I am trying to make this as objective as possible with the results that I show and the notes that I have taken here. So this is how it's going to work out. Here are the rules to the top 25 list, okay? One, all champions do make the top 25. I think, if you are a champion, you are considered one of the best, so therefore you are guaranteed to make it. Now, with that, there is 11 titles, which means no matter what, there are 11 guaranteed spots that cover the top 25. But that does not mean that 1 through 11 are automatically covered and we just ranked on the champions. No, we already do a ranking list of the divisions themselves. That is for that to see what's 1 through 11. If you are a champion, yes, you are guaranteed 25 in the top 25, but you could very well be number 25 is based on how much competition you have within your division, which is the case here. One of the champions is number 25 on this list. Another thing is that if you are in a group, you are one. It doesn't matter if you are competing within the singles division. It doesn't matter if your group has 2 titles. Like the Judgment Day, you're not going to see Dominic Mysterio at 7, while JD and Finn Balor are at 17. No, they are in one group, though. Therefore, those titles are together, and therefore the Judgment Day is only 1. So therefore, there's only 10 guaranteed spots on this 25 ranking list. It just depends on whoever loses their title first. Then we go back to 11 being guaranteed. Another rule is that a contender on their division cannot be ranked higher than their champion. So, if you have a lot of momentum going into it, like if we were going to past and we were going to say, hey, Jey Uso has more momentum than Gunther right now, Gunther would still be ranked higher than Jey Uso because Gunther was the World Heavyweight Champion at that time. I don't think it's really the case like that right now. Maybe you can make a case, for John Cena and Cody Rhodes, since Cody Rhodes hasn't really been here. But even in that case, Cody Rhodes has to be shown first before we can show John Cena. The only way that a contender in the division can be ranked higher than its champion is if their group is ranked higher than the champion itself. So, if we had a women's world champion, right, and Judgment Day was ranked higher, if Naomi was still around and Judgment Day was ranked higher than Naomi, that's the only way Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez can be ranked higher than Naomi, is because they are in the Judgment Day. And then after that, if there is a number 1 contender match guaranteed, like the number 1 contender is guaranteed to fight for that title, then that contender is automatically guaranteed to be in the top 25 as well. Okay? If you have any questions regarding those rules, please comment below and let me know what you would like for me to clarify. Or if you just don't like a rule, you can challenge me on it. Like I said, this is a very subjective list with some very subjective rules that I made for myself to make this top 25. Everything's up for debate here. So yeah, comment below, let me know on what you think could make this list a little bit better. Now, before we get into the top 25, because again, I want to try to show as much of my work as possible. I just don't want to give my top 25 and be like, yep, that's it. I am going to show the top 5 contenders of every single division as well, just so that you can get a good idea of how the top 25 is going to play out. So we're going to start off with the Raw side, then we'll go to the SmackDown side, and then we will show the top 25. Cool? Cool. All right, so here we go. On Raw, in the World Heavyweight Championship scene, the champions are obviously The Vision, right? Like I said, Seth Rollins may hold the title, but that group is the one that are the champions together because they are one unit. In the 1 seed for contenders, we have CM Punk, then LA Knight, then Jey Uso. Makes sense for them to be 1, 2, and 3 since they are in the Fatal 4-Way match. Roman Reigns in the 4, and then Gunther is finishing out the top 5 only because he is currently injured. If he was still very much involved, maybe he could have taken over Roman Reigns' spot. Maybe he's in that Fatal 4-Way and makes it a Fatal 5-Way. But yeah, Gunther is in the 5 because he is currently injured right now. The Intercontinental Championship scene for the men's side, Judgment Day as the champions. And then in the 1 seed for contenders, we have AJ Styles, Dragon Lee, El Grande Americano, Penta, and then the Vision because Braun Breaker was the champion before. For the Women's World Championship scene, there is no champion. It is vacant right now, so therefore we are able to just rank based on the presentation of the characters themselves. We have Io Sky in the 1 seed, Rhea Ripley in the 2, Judgment Day in the 3, because yes, this is a single title, but Raquel and Roxanne are a unit. And then Stephanie Vacquier in the 4. You could say, no, Stephanie has to be 1 because she won that Battle Royal. Ever since, the lovely news that Naomi is expecting a child, Stephanie has taken a big back seat, and it doesn't look like she's guaranteed to win, to be in contention for that title now that we have to shape everything out. Now, I do hope if we do a tournament that Stephanie does get a bye to WrestlePalooza, because I don't think that we're going to do a Women's World Championship match at Clash in Paris anymore. I would hope that, and then maybe we can actually put some focus on her character, because again, she hasn't been presented whatsoever. But yeah, due to her no longer being guaranteed number 1 contender and that everything's up in the air, she drops from 1 to 4 just because for the most part she's just not featured on television. And then rounding out the top 5, we have the Kabuki Warriors. Because yes, they are being presented on television, but they're not necessarily looking for that title. They're more about Io, who is our number 1 seed, while Stephanie Vacquier is going for that title in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, that's for the Women's World Championship scene. And then the Women's Intercontinental Championship scene, Becky Lynch as the champion, Bayley in the 1. I know some people are like, well, Nikki Bella is clearly going for the title. Yes, absolutely. But like I said before, she's not guaranteed the fight for that title yet. I would assume Monday the match gets confirmed. But due to that, and with Bayley just having much more presentation on television, because I think Nikki Bella even took a week off after the segment between her and Becky Lynch, Bayley takes the top seed right now when it comes to contenders. Nikki Bella at 2, Alpha Academy at 3, Natalia Maxine Dupree, because they did fight for that title. And then N4, Lyra Valkyria. I know she can no longer contend for that belt, which is why she drops 2-4, but she hasn't made any progression from that or make any clear indication that she's going for the Women's World Championship. So she stays in the IC title picture, but we do drop her down to 4. And then rounding out the top 5, just because I needed someone, we have Ivy Nile. And then in the World Tag Team Championship scene, we have the Judgment Day as the champions. In New Day in the 1 seed, LWO at the 2, American Made at 3, War Raiders at 4, and then yes, Mr. Iguana and Dragon Lee at 5, just because they did have a match with Judgment Day on Monday Night Raw last week, and because I needed 5 contenders. Right now, and then we move on to the SmackDown scene and the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes is the champion. John Cena in the 1, again, like the Nikki Bella situation. Drew McIntyre's in the 2 because it is clear he's going to go for that title. But the match is not confirmed yet. Once the match is confirmed, then yes, we will flip Drew McIntyre and John Cena around. In the 3, we have Logan Paul. 4, Randy Orton, just because he just came back to television. And then rounding up the top 5, just because of some other people in the mid-card scene right now, because they elected for that. We have R-Truth because he was fighting the WWE champion at some point this year, while no one else in that could contend for this division have done that. Now, the U.S. titles scene, we have the MFTs as the champion. Sami Zayn in the 1, since his match is confirmed. Jacob Fatu in the 2. Aleister Black in the 3. Damian Priest in the 4. Again, you could make the argument that it should be in the WWE title ranking system as opposed to U.S., but Damian Priest did say he is looking for that U.S. title, so therefore he stays stuck in that. And Aleister hasn't made any claims for a championship gold, so therefore he just follows where Damian goes. And then Jimmy Uso rounds up the top 5 because he is in that U.S. title scene. The WWE Women's Championship scene. This is probably going to cause a lot of debates. But yeah, Tiffany Stratton is champion. Jade Cargill in the 1 for contenders. Nia Jax in the 2. Regardless that she is injured, I got Bianca Belair in the 3 because when she does come back, I think she's going to be straight into that main event scene because, let's face it, they need it. Because if you look at 4 and 5, Charlotte Flair in the 4, only because she did fight for the title, and same for Trish Stratus in 5, even though she's not going to be, I don't expect her back any soon. But yeah, Trish Stratus also fought for that belt too. And again, who else do they have that we can put in this division? Because then we go to the women's U.S. Title scene. If you want to talk about looking for straws, you got Julia as the champion, Michin in the number 1 contender spot because we are programming for that story. And again, there's no one else to fight for that that's being stronger for us. So yeah, we'll put her in 1. Nikki Cross in 2 just because she simply walked up some stairs, looked at Michin and Julia, then walked back down. And then we have the Secret Hervis in the 3 because of Chelsea Green. And then Zelina Vega in the 4. And then, of course, I just needed someone to round out the top 5. We have B-Fab, which I think is a shame. I like B-Fab. I think she's a really good worker. I just hope we get some more investment within her and she doesn't have to be just the manager to the Street Profits because I think there is some opportunities there with B-Fab. So hopefully we get some focus on her and we can climb her up, not just on these ranks, but all the ranks as well when it comes to the women. And now the WWE Tag Team Championship scene. We have the Y6 as the champions, and then the Street Profits in the 1. Mello Don't Miz in the 2, even though I fully expect Mello Don't Miz to beat the Street Profits on Friday. Since the Street Profits were champions, I'm going to keep them at the 1, and I don't think Mello Don't Miz is around for much longer. And then in the 3 seed, we have the Motor City Machine Guns, 4 the MFTs, and then 5 is Fraxium. And then after that, the only division we have left is the only one that goes through both divisions is the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship scene. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss as the champions. Secret Hervis in the 1 because they are fighting for the belts on Friday. And then we have the Kabuki Warriors in 2, Judgment Day in the 3, even though, again, those two are kind of preoccupied with the Women's World Championship scene, but they are being featured. And then the Alpha Academy after that, again, are more occupied with the women's IC title scene, but hey, they are a team. And then again, rounding out the top 5, just because I need it, was B-Fab and Michin. So there you go. There's the top 5s for every single division, just so you get a good idea of where I'm coming from on why everyone is ranked at the way that they are. And now, after basically 13 minutes, if you made it this far, I do really, really appreciate it. Let's officially get into the top 25. So starting with the bottom 10, so 25 through 16. In 25, we have the Women's United States Champion, Julia. 24 is the Street Profits. 23, Aleister Black. 22, Bayley. 21, Jade Cargill. 20, Jacob Fatu. 19, the WWE Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton. 18, Sami Zayn. 17, AJ Styles, and 16, the MFTs, because they are the United States champion. Again, Julia is just in a division where there is no depth whatsoever. It just so happens, hey, this person is going to contend for that title. Michin and Nikki Cross only got 1 and 2 just because they were in a conversation. That is literally it. Chelsea Green and Zelina Vega are only on there because they were champions at one point, and B-Fab, I just needed someone to fill out the numbers. And then, Tiffany Stratton, again, that division, there is just no depth. You got Nia Jax and 2 who just constantly, we need to move on from Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. They need to be on separate brands when we get to the next draft. I will say, if anything, a draft is most necessary for the women's division on SmackDown overall, and for the World Tag division on Monday nights. Those are the main reasons to have a draft, because we just need some, inject some adrenaline into those divisions, because that's it when it comes to the women's U.S. title scene and the WWE Women's Championship scene. All of them are on there. Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, and Julia. That's it. Bayley is the start of the women's IC title, but Becky is much higher on this list. So we will see here in a little bit. MFTs, again, to me, it's just a little bit redundant. And AJ Styles, it's just really stacked when we get to that upper 15 quite a bit. So, again, if you want to challenge anything, please comment below and let me know. Now, for the next 10, so 15 through 6. In 15, we have the WWE Tag Team Champions, the Wyatt Six. 14, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. In the 13th spot, we have Roman Reigns. 12, Rhea Ripley. 11, Io Sky. 10, Logan Paul. 9, The Judgment Day. 8, Jey Uso. 7, Drew McIntyre. And 6, John Cena. Now, John Cena and Drew McIntyre, I believe, will climb up pretty soon. The only reason they are ranked as low is because, again, their champion on their brand, Cody Rhodes, has not been on television for a while. But let's face it, when Cody Rhodes comes back, there's going to be a focus on him. And therefore, Cody Rhodes is going to be able to climb up the rankings quite a bit. And then once he climbs, they're going to climb as well because they have been doing a lot of great work. It's just unfortunate with how their division is set up. And with Cody Rhodes currently being preoccupied filming Street Fighter is why they are in the 6th and 7th spot. Jey Uso, arguably in the best division in all of WWE. Got to put him in the top 10. Judgment Day, again, they have 2 of the titles, and I think they're the only group that are in 4 division top 5 rankings when it comes to contenders, and their champions on 2 of them. So yeah, they have to be within the top 10. Logan Paul, I know he's very controversial, but he is very talented, and that segment with John Cena was absolutely great. Io Sky is ranked higher than Rhea Ripley simply because Io Sky is the main character for the women's division right now, where I think Rhea Ripley is playing more of a supporting. Roman Reigns, he comes and goes, but he's kind of been doing the same thing. But yeah, you cannot argue that he's not top 15 whatsoever. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte giving a lot of focus to those women tag titles, and then Wyatt Six are kind of looming in the background. But again, they are the best within that division, and they deserve it. So that closes out the WWE women's tag titles and the men's tag titles as well. That's it for that division, and I think that's it for the women's world championship scene as well. So now we are only down to the women's IC title scene. Oh, the US title scene also got done within the bottom 10 as well. So we're only down to and we're done with the IC championship scene. So we're down to the World Heavyweight Championship scene, the WWE Championship scene, and the Women's Intercontinental Championship scene, because we have yet to say Becky Lynch. And that means at the top 5, we have in 5, Cody Rhodes, the WWE Champion. Again, only simply because he hasn't been there. But let's face it, he's going to get a huge pop when he comes back, and there will be a focus on him. So I think 5 is a very nice spot for him too. And again, the rest of his division has just done so great as well to make it more relevant. And so therefore he's in the 5. And 4, Becky Lynch. Again, we'll see what happens when Cody Rhodes comes back. But I do anticipate that when Cody Rhodes comes back, he's going to jump Becky Lynch, and then therefore I think John Cena, Drew McIntyre may jump Becky Lynch as well. But that is no indication how I feel about Becky Lynch. I think she has done great in this division, and again, she's made it very, very relevant. And the top ranking of the divisions themselves, it's 3, and it's simply because of her, because she has done a great job really elevating talent on that. In the 3 spot, we have LA Knight, 2, CM Punk, and 1 is The Vision, because again, the Raw World Heavyweight Championship scene is the strongest ever. In fact, let's go ahead and show how many are in the top 25 by the division. Number 1, the World Heavyweight Championship scene has over 4 people in we have 5 people, 5 groups, or 5 people in the World Heavyweight Championship scene. Same with the WWE title scene, which is why they are ranked 1 and 2 on the list. And then the Women's Intercontinental Championship scene, we have 2 people. Men's IC title scene, we have 3. WWE Tag Team Championship scene, we have 2. The Women's World Championship scene, we have 4 people on it. So maybe that Women's World Championship scene is starting to show contention of, hey, maybe we should jump the Women's IC Championship. And then in the men's US scene, we have 4 as well, again, making a contention that it should be higher within their division ranking list. The Women's Tag Team Championship scene has 2, and then the WWE Women's Championship scene, we have 2 as well. And then the Women's US title scene, we have 1, and then the Women's Tag Team Championship scene, we have one as well. So yeah, that is the top 25 on how I see it, and again with how the divisions that I see it as well. And again, we will look at this and we'll monitor this every week as well on the community tab. So after Raw and SmackDown, I'll re-look at the list and I'll redo the top 25, and then we'll do the more in-depth thing around the same time here in September. But yeah, comment below and let me know your thoughts on anything you want to challenge on. Who should be higher, who should be lower. Again, a very subjective list, just with some objective notes that I do believe within this here. So, but yeah, anything is up for interpretation. Let's have a nice debate about it in the comment section. Leave a like if you made this far within the video. I do greatly appreciate it. And hit that subscribe button, as I am trying to grow into my YouTube career. And don't forget to squeeze the day, guys, because life is too short not to give it your all. So squeeze every opportunity that you can. And until next time, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.